From the very beginning, I wanted the player's actions to have consequences on the story.
What? How did we get separated? We weren't that far apart.
Originally, Palladius was a bit sleazier and Tiliel more passive-aggressive. But then I thought about the player's feelings towards them and felt it would be better to make everyone more likable.
Please, you have to do something. I can't lose him.
I wanted people to try to save them.
Welcome to one of the most unique Skyrim mods released in recent memory. Created by just one developer, Sirenroot, Deluge of Deceit, takes you and a team of expeditionists on a fascinating adventure deep into the depths of one of the last Ayleid ruins in Skyrim in order to uncover the ancient secrets that lie within. In this video, I will be delving behind the scenes into the creation and conception of this captivating AAA quality mod, and speaking to the creator to find out just how she managed to introduce many of the impressive mechanics included in the quest, some even that were left behind by Bethesda and were never fully utilised in the vanilla game. Welcome to Sirenroot, from concept to currents.
A woman from High Rock predicted the location of the plant in the first place. She claims that the plant has something to do with Ayleid ruins. Regardless, here, as I said, it's diving work.
Ria Everglaid is a well-known contributor to the Skyrim modding community, and the author of Sirenroot, Deluge of Deceit. In 2020 and onwards, bolstered by her impressive video showcase skills, she became well known for mods that add new animations to the game. Conditional idols, EVG animation variants, and animated traversal, just to name a few. But her most recent release has proven to be her most impressive yet. Published about a week ago at the time of making this video, Sirenroot stands apart from her previous work by implementing a new quest, story, and mechanics packaged into a unique multi-leveled water puzzle dungeon buried beneath Lake Honrick. The story is impacted heavily by player choice, where bad decisions throughout your playtime can lead to every character meeting their untimely death. And the new mechanics and features included, such as in-game camera cutscenes, temporarily playing as other NPCs, and traversing up ledges, make this one of the more impressive Skyrim mods in the past few years, managing to offer a puzzle experience akin to that of a Tomb Raider game, and the quest design of a Dragon Age game, while at the same time feeling true to Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls.
There were a handful of series that impacted me and had a strong influence over the mod. Tomb Raider, the Crystal Dynamics line specifically, I really liked its linear level design and huge open areas that you had to circle around before progressing. Dragon Age as well. Quests where you had to choose between two missions, making you start another playthrough just to see the other side. Lastly, FromSoft games and Resident Evil. I love safe hub areas that you return to, especially with shortcuts. I wanted to incorporate all of those game design philosophies into one package.
The mod has a heavy focus on atmosphere and interesting puzzles, many taking a focus on water raising and lowering, a feature that was rarely used in Skyrim's base game.
Despite what I just said about game design, the story was more important to me. Level design is hard and tediously slow. Puzzle design is mind-numbing. I was seriously burnt out in the puzzle department maybe halfway through development. I had a handful of concepts for different mods. A lighthearted quest mod with heavy choice and consequence, a horror dungeon that you get magically trapped in, and an older simple mod that replaces the Sirenroot sound with a siren song. I kind of mashed everything together.
The design philosophies that made up the creation of Sirenroot lend themselves to creating not only an enjoyable and rewarding puzzle dungeon, but an intriguing and well-structured story that has you thinking about your actions throughout your playtime. However, with all the different influences and mechanics working in tangent, making them all seamlessly work together has proven to be a difficult feat for other mods or games which have similar aspirations. So what is it exactly that helps to bridge the divide between gameplay and mechanics? In Sirenroot's case, it's the characters.
Next, I had to think of ways that the characters would suit water, and the Elder Scrolls world already provided that for me. Argonians, spells, enchantments, and lastly, sea elves.
I'm Tilael. Grew up in Breville, bounced around some guilds for work, but diving is always the easiest.
I had made Tilael as a kid in 2009, so she's kind of my baby, but I'm really happy with Kairis.
Oh, that reminds me. The boys are also waiting in Shadenall. They wanted Hawker's stew. I'll need to visit the market before I head back to Cyrodiil.
Young Scrolls and her voice actress, Liz, love her a ton as well. I think I found a great balance in making being a mother important, but not her entire personality.
Concentrating to keep a spell like that active on myself and another simultaneously is quite intensive.
Characters in Sirenroot serve a huge role that would usually be created by this style of large-scale dungeon, and that's simply the issue of fatigue, which I'm sure you're all familiar with from some of the longer Elder Scrolls dungeons. In Sirenroot, however, the characters play a pivotal role in making each section of the dungeon feel unique and have some sort of through line that you are actively invested in, and there are even notes scattered throughout telling the tales of others who ventured into the ruin.
I had considered making the past of the dungeon more fleshed out. Ghosts of the characters that were there rather than notes, even a vampire that was trapped from a previous expedition, but I didn't want to bloat the mod with more dialogue.
Sirenroot's mechanics are one of the more impressive features that sets the experience apart. For example, when completing milestones, cutscenes will play, revealing your accomplishments, a feature that was left behind by Bethesda in Skyrim's code.
Cutscenes originally came from me looking at better ways to film showcase videos before even starting Sirenroot. I had asked around with other modders, and one had actually done camera switching using vanilla functions. Bethesda had just never used it. In Sirenroot, there isn't a camera in the room, it's a whole NPC that floats between points.
This works by swapping the player's camera to follow the NPC who is dressed in invisible clothing, which is quite a smart workaround to Skyrim's rather limiting camera options, and really makes progress in this mod feel rewarding and unique, in a very Tomb Raider style of way. The other unique mechanic developed for Sirenroot is the character control that becomes available to you at different stages of the dungeon. Take this for example, where you and your expedition partner are trapped on either side of a walled tunnel, and you must alternate between taking control of him and your player in order to progress. This is a feature of the mod that is used rather sparingly, but I felt was a really rewarding and unique experience in those times in which it was used. And it's a clever way of making you feel a bit more attached to some of your companions, because you, the player, has spent some actual time playing as them.
Implementing animated traversal was always going to be the very last step of the mod process. After seeing that I could move NPCs, I thought, why not the player? And I somehow made a first-person climbing system purely by scripts, meaning I could upload to Xbox as well. I wanted NPCs to climb with you as well, but Skyrim NPC pathing is something else.
And in addition to this, Everglaid hopes to implement her previous fully animated mod into Sirenroot, when certain technical limitations have been ironed out. But aside from level design, story, and mechanics, there is one huge aspect of Sirenroot that was left to develop.
Creating my own soundtrack quickly became overwhelming. I had gotten a couple tracks down by mixing samples and loops, but had a huge roadblock once I ran out of material.
Sirenroot's original soundtrack comes stacked with 13 new arrangements, and in some ways can really be viewed as the glue that sticks everything together. Everything from nice revealers, unnerving ambience, and even powerful boss music. And originally there were only a few music tracks planned to accompany the mod upon release. At least, that was until one extra person signed on to help Everglaid produce the soundtrack. Young Scrolls is a musician well known for his extremely catchy songs, mostly made up of cleverly spliced voice lines from other Elder Scrolls games, and is credited as being responsible for over half of the entire OST.
Young Scrolls was really interested in the mod when he first heard about it and was my primary playtester. After seeing my list of music that I had planned to make, he whipped up multiple explore tracks, cutscene jingles, and even the boss theme within days. Without Young Scrolls, Sirenroot probably would have been released with 4 original tracks mixed with the Oblivion dungeon music.
To me personally, music is probably one of the most, if not the most important aspects of video games because it's something that can stick with you long after the experience is over. My initial involvement in Sirenroot's development was only limited to playtesting, but as it became more and more of a collective effort, with our mutual friends doing voice work, 3D art, and whatnot, I felt compelled to sign on. My main inspiration for some pieces in Sirenroot was the soundtrack to Beyond Skyrim Bruma by Daniel Ram. I think it's a wonderfully made OST that's been in my rotation for years now, and the pieces made specifically for the Ayleid ruins in that mod are my absolute favorite. The Ayleid pieces in Bruma's OST have stuck with me ever since the mod's release, and to me they serve as the blueprint to setting up the right mood for a civilization long gone. Everglaid's mods are pretty much single-handedly responsible for bringing me back to playing Skyrim, and having a hand in bringing this project to life felt like an honor. Initially I wasn't sure if my involvement was necessary to round out the experience, since a good half of the OST is Everglaid's original work, and I didn't want to tamper with her vision, but she was very open to the idea, so I just got to work. Overall, I think Sirenroot is probably one of the most consistent quest mods quality-wise, and part of the reason I wanted to sign on was just how impressive and admirable the entire project turned out. I would have hated to not have been a part of it. I've written music for Skyrim mods before, but sadly they never saw the light of day, so finally getting to score for Sirenroot has been a great experience. I think maybe somewhere down the line it would be fun to do more stuff like this. We will see.
Sirenroot has been a product of many months of dedicated work, along with years of Everglaid's progression as a mod author. It stands out to myself as one of the most impressive Skyrim experiences in the past few years, in part due to my fondness for Everglaid and her mods, but also my love for Tomb Raider and any gaming atmosphere that takes a particular interest on water or oceanic themes. And I've tried my best to make this video interesting without completely spoiling the mod or its story, so I would implore you to download Sirenroot for yourself and experience the amazing work that we've taken a look at in this video firsthand. And the final thing that I'm sure is on all of your minds, as it was on mine, is what's next for Everglade.
A lot of people have told me that Sirenroot is up there with the best single quest mods for Skyrim, but I still see lots of things that I could have improved in hindsight. I think I want to do a quest with an even stronger focus on choice and consequence. And if Skyrim does get a marketplace, I would love to make big DLC, if Bethesda will let me, of course.
Sirenroot is available for download now on PC and Xbox. Thank you both to Young Scrolls and of course Everglaid for their work on the mod and for lending their time in making this video. Check out the download link in the description and be sure to endorse the mod if you enjoy it. And that's going to do it from me for this video. For my stuff, if you're in the market for a new PC, check out my page at Apex Gaming PCs, where you can pick from 3 different tiers of gaming rigs modelled after my own specs, so you can be sure you can run modded Skyrim. Use code BURNS at checkout for up to $200 off your purchase, and they're also doing a special 13% off sale right now for our community only, so check out my link in the description below. And with that, I'll bid you farewell. Take care.